like the little hairband of posies. That's what that. She had one of those, but she had gross black hair, and she had this sinister smile on her face. You get it. It's generic as fuck. Damn! Knock me out, this motherfucker. So she sees. So she sees that motherfucker, but over to the. I don't know how he ended up over there, but I guess at some point, Blaze decided to like double back.
I mean, let's just
Like,
say he ran into the woods.
yeah, he ran into the woods and then just ran. Like
he just finally realized, oh, I'm heading back to the site.
Yeah, like
he
he
just
didn't.
happened across it.
Like he didn't like he went the wrong way, and then didn't keep going straight. He just fucking he kept turning, so he ended up on the east side of the table. So if you're coming to the table from the car, on the left. Why do I need to tell you this? It's not important.
But yeah, they're both back at the
Yeah.
seance site.
And it's fucking hell. What does my fucking... What does this do?
You boost the soul.
Oh. I killed the shock tower? Where was it? So we got Blaze and Bethany, or Banthany. Blaze
Yeah,
and Banthany. Oh my gosh, Blaze and Banthany. Blaze and Banthany. They see each other and they're like, ah, shit, this isn't good. What the fuck do we do? Because they're like, they see fucking Carver's body hanging from the tree. Like, it's not obvious, but it's obvious to them. Like, that's a fucking like person. Like, they don't see, you know, Sarah. She's deep in the woods and will always be forgotten. Like, no one's ever gonna talk about her ever again in life, ever.
Because honestly,
Ever.
that's the way it should be.
Yes. People are gonna think, like, do you know a person named Sarah who has upset you? No, I don't.
But yes, Blaze and Anthony, we were at the seance site.
Yeah, well, the seance. Yeah, they're what?
Looking at each other, looking at Carver.
That is not what you said.
What?
I swear you said fucking each other.
I said looking at each other.
Oh, I heard fucking each other.
That's fair.
Who helped? I feel like no one was helping. Cartoon Camel. How was you? Boy, if you can get like just in front of those fucking doors when, you know, the enemies are about to start coming out. You're gonna get Player the Do.
Player doof.
I did good. I got a gold for healing. How?
Because you were a healer.
I got that, but I didn't do a whole lot of healing intentionally. So, bit my tongue. Bit my tongue. So Blaze sees Banthany and he runs over to her as they are convening, as everything is like getting back to where it started. The Plomby, because I almost forgot what I fucking called him. The Plomby reassembles, and although he can like travel through the ground, he's still not very fast. Like, he's just not.
Mm-hmm.
So he's shambling towards them, and well, fuck. He loops around. He finds the Ouija board. Does he? Is that fun? Is that fun? I don't think that's really all that fun. No, that's not all that fun. Switch it. So he doesn't find the Ouija board. He finds Banthony. They're like, what the fuck do we do? Or like, what the fuck do we do? I mean, fuck, I don't know, something. Like, I'm not doing Asian voices or transgender. Like I'm not. Banthony tells him, we have to find the Ouija board. We have to close the fucking door. Like, this bitch will. Like, we have to close this shit. Like, we fucking have to close the door. Otherwise, like, whatever we've released is just gonna be out here in the world with us until forever, which is how you talk, I guess.
Until forever is a long time.
Like, my money that forever lasts a mighty long time. So, Banthony tells Blaze, you hold off Mr. Mossy Pants here. I'll go find the fucking Ouija board and I'll close the gate. Close the gate. Fucking yeah, sure. Blaze looks at her and is like, bitch you for real. I don't know why he doesn't have, he's gay, but he doesn't have a fucking Asian accent. I just don't, I don't know how gay is. I can't do it. I'm good, but I ain't that good. A Gaysian accent. So that's what they do. And he's like, well, how the fuck am I supposed to keep him from, you know, fucking us over? And she's like, get creative, you motherfucker. So he spots what's her name? He spots Sarah's purse on the ground because, you know, she had her phone. That's all she needed. And in her purse, and it wasn't like a purse, like a small clutch. It was like a fucking like reusable grocery bag. It was a fucking like gigantic fucking like 2-gallon size fucking like tote bag that she put like half of a house in. And in that was a can of hairspray, like a full like Lysol sized can of hairspray. Why hairspray? Not just Lysol, don't worry about it. And a lighter because she smoked pot. Than she was. Like she smoked pot, but she didn't smoke like just you're on my team. Like she didn't just smoke weed. Like she smoked weed though in the worst kind of way. Like she smoked fucking like dabs and it was terrible. Like she didn't whatever. She had a lighter, so he did exactly what you think he's gonna do. He made a makeshift flamethrower. Now I don't know how many of y'all understand how fire works. And I don't know how many of y'all understand how plants work. So I definitely don't know understand like what's like how many of y'all are dead in the center to understand like how living plants survive against fire. You can't necessarily set living plants on fire. Mostly because they're filled with water. It's quite difficult. But in a situation where you just need to, you know, keep a plombie off your nuts. What does this do?
You just heal everybody around you.
Okay. So I can't attack. I can just look funny for a few seconds.
More or less.
So he uses the fucking hell, that scared me. He uses the flamethrower to like just keep him at bay. And like the idea that somebody would dare hurt her precious plants makes Madam Spencer very angry. But she's a dead fucking ghost, so she can't do shit. Like she can only control that one zombie man. Like, or can she? Nah, let's say she can't. Yeah, fuck it. No, that's it. She can only control him. Like the others haven't been dead long enough for her to have some kind of control. So he's just going like, yeah, with the fire. That's the noise it makes. I'm so sleepy.
Continue.
Like, I don't know how. Oh my gosh! If you were listening to this and you've never made a flamethrower out of like aerosol can and a lighter, don't. Like, if you're gonna do it outside. And when you release the trigger on the aerosol can, release it immediately. Don't slowly release it. Just release it immediately.
Because if you
Because
know anything about how fire works when
yeah,
it's doing that, like it's gonna go back into the can and explode in your hand
and then you're
and
gonna
make you a very unhappy person.
yeah, you're not gonna be. It's gonna be bad times at the El Royale. Which is a good movie if you get the opportunity to watch that. So he's going boof boof with the fire. Meanwhile, Banthony is out in the woods trying to find this damn wax-coated piece of fucking wood.
Cardboard.
It's
Or
wood.
whatever.
No, it's wood.
Okay.
It's real wood. It's you know it's like a piece of like it's a thick piece of wood, but like it's been wood burned to like instead of like having it printed on the instead of having the words printed on, they've just been burned into the wood with a burning kit.
Mm-hmm.
So it's kind of fancy looking, but it's also very thrifty.
Mm-hmm.
That's it. That's the end of the sentence.
I mean, I was saying, go on with the story. Banthony, whatever the fuck her name is.
Yeah, Banthony is. She finds it. Like, it was in the woods, but it was kind of like underneath some shit. So apparently what happened was, like, I guess Madame Zaroni found the fucking Ouija board and like tried to put vines over it, like to try to like keep them from like retrieving it. So she couldn't just grab it, but because she's black and all black people carry knives, she pulled out her pocket knife and like slowly cut the vines. And as she cut the vines, she could hear Madame Zanoni, because I forgot it, Spencer. She could hear her scream because like she's connected to her plants. If you hurt her plants, you're hurting her. And honestly, she's a bad person, so you know, fucking deserves it, right? Nobody was over there to stop that from happening. I didn't forget where I was. I just had to yawn. Jeez. So she cuts through the vines. Oh, my fucking knee. She cuts through the vines. She uses the same knife to. Yeah, she uses the same knife to cut the to scrape the wax off the spirit board that Sarah had like splattered across earlier because she's a cunt. But the problem was she didn't have a planchette. Like the planchette was nowhere to be found, and there just wasn't any trying to find it. Like it was no trying to find it. But then she remembered that that Bob's wore glasses. Damn. She remembered that Bob's wore glasses, and she didn't see the glasses on the. She doesn't know if she saw the glasses on the corpse bush or not. That's yeah, sure. So what she decided, so she ran back to where this dude is like as with a makeshift flamethrower and other shit, and is just like searching the ground for this dude's glasses, and she finds his glasses covered in blood and snot and other stuff, and it's like she almost considers just not, but she doesn't have a lot of options, so she so she breaks the glasses, breaks them enough to just to have like the one lens and use the one lens as a planchette. And I want to say she uses the one lens, and I don't know if it's like some fucking Creole magic, some I don't know, I don't know, but because she understood the spirit. She came from a very spiritual world. Like they believed in voodoo and shit back, down in the bayou. They knew what that shit was about. So she understood that this shit wasn't to be fucked around with. But the problem was, what wasn't the problem? You might be wondering, she knew all this. What the fuck? Why did she agree? Well, first off, she agreed because she's dumb. Like she's dumb, and her friends wanted to do it, but she well adept. She was adept enough to know that if shit went tits up, she would know how to like close the door and save everybody for the most part. I died. Damn. So in the process of closing the door by doing I don't know, typing in some weird magical mystical spaceship code. I don't fucking know. Like I don't study voodoo or spirit boards for that matter, so I don't know what she would have like made the fucking thing say.
Gone plant bitch.
Yeah, like I don't fucking know. But when she got the door closed, as the door closed, the fucking Plomby just kind of collapsed. He collapsed, but then he just kind of sank back into the earth, like just like no trace whatsoever left behind. Just kind of sank back into the earth, and and Madam Spencer let out this just fucking abysmal shriek that echoed through the grove, and Blaze and Blanthony or Banthony, whatever the fuck. I always get like a decent amount of kills, but just never enough kills. Oh, thank you all for voting for me. I mean, I voted for me, but still. With the okay, we can stop.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so here we go, trying to like wrap this nightmare of a story up. With the spirit bitch banished back to the underworld from whence she came. She told Blaze like, I gotta find my fucking car keys, because otherwise we're just stuck here. And he's like, alright. And he's tired. So he's like, hey, you look for the keys. I gotta make sure that I gotta do stuff to make sure that this is done. So she brings the spirit board back to the table, and she pulls out a, god damn it, I hate myself for this. She pulls out a small vial of, Arctic water from a glacier up in Antarctica. It's been blessed by a shaman, and it stays cold forever.
God.
So it's been blessed by a shaman, but it's also been blessed by a priest, so it's forever cold holy water. And she sprinkles some of it. She does the thing where she puts like part of her finger over the lid, so when she shakes it, it kind of comes out, and she goes pss, 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 like on the spirit board, and it smokes for some reason, probably because it's got some evil in it. I don't know. Like the spirit board smokes a bit, and like you hear one final like wailing like otherworldly shriek like echo throughout the grove. And then with that being said, she used her giant manly she-male arms to crack the spirit board over her knee, and then she flung one end to the east and flung the other end to the west. They didn't go super far. They didn't go super far, but they went different directions, and that's all she really cared about. Blaze found her keys underneath the table. Don't nobody know how they got under the table. They were under the table in the grass. But she found them, and he was like, alright, let's go. And he was like, well, what do we do about our friends' corpses? And she's like, I'm never going to get the smell out of my car if I try to get these motherfuckers. Like, I know. Like, no. Like, she looks at him, and it's just like, no. Like, let's go. Now. Home. Feet hurt. Sleep now. So, it's still day. It's like 5 o'clock in the evening. Like, it's daytime. They were out here for like 2 hours. Like, tops. Like, and as they're walking away, they hear "It's Friday" by that bitch who's saying "It's Friday." The Friday song. It's Friday. Yeah, they hear that, and it's like, oh my gosh, it's Sarah's phone. It's ringing. And Blaze is like, what should we do? Because he's safe now, so he's willing to be compassionate. And Banthony looks at him in the face and says, "Home now, done, through with shit." She's turned into the fucking Hulk for some reason. And now she can't talk. Now she can't speak in full sentences. She's sick. She's over it. if you can't grasp it, she's over it. She's done. So they get back to the car. Some time passes. They take about a week off from each other because when tragedy strikes, you stay away from the people you were tragic around. We're tragic around. That is not the right term to use. I'm so fucking tired. Um. Oh, it's a skin. Cool. Oh, I got 2 skins. Who the fuck is this bitch? I got 2 skins for Sombra. 2 skins for
Yeah, one of them
Sombra.
was the event thing.
Current classic. What the fuck? The glitch skin and the Incendio skin. I don't play with fucking Sombra. That's dumb. What do you get? What do you do with currency?
You can buy the emotes and skins.
Where'd you do that? Hero gallery?
Yeah.
So just know at the end of this story, fucking 3 people died, and yeah. So what happens is the gay dude and the transgender end up dating because when you go through this kind of trauma, you kind of stick to the one person that you know you can like relate this kind of shit to. And I mean, again, she's the kind of like transgender that really just wanted titties. Like she's gay as fuck. Like she puts on makeup and everything. So she's pretty. She's like 6'2", so she's a bit too tall to be a convincing female. And her titties are the God. The transgender titties are the worst. It's like it's rare that any of them ever look good because it's always like the man nipples ain't like female nipples. Our areolas ain't the same. Our nipples looks bad, but it's still manly enough for Blaze. Blaze is like you still got a nice like it's not a big dick. It's just a mediocre. It's a decent. Like it's a little too small for her height, which might have been why she decided to become a woman. I don't know. This is backstory that you don't get with anybody else. Um, that's it. That's the story. That's the story. These 5 dumb fucks went into the woods to play with a fucking Ouija board, conjured up the spirit of a very pissed off I almost said botanist, um, horticulturalist. Horticulture? That ain't it.
You've been calling her a botanist.
Botanist? That ain't right though. Like I'm 8% sure that botanist ain't the right word.
Either way, plant bitch.
Give me a second. If I've been calling it a botanist, no, I was right. Yep, I was right. They conjured the spirit of a very pissed off botanist who raised a fucking plant zombie, which I'm calling a plombie, who then, for whatever reason, other than because like he's doing her bidding because she can make him, kills 3 of their friends, kills a dude in a wheelchair by effectively making him blow the front part of his face out because of his fucking allergies. He plants seeds that grow immediately throughout the intestinal tract and just like, a full body of this bitchy white girl. And then there's the fucking black kid gets ripped not quite in half and strung from a tree. Oh my gosh, that was racist.
Yep.
And then they all get like converted into plant matter, which is not plant matter. It's not really plant matter. They just get covered in plant matter, and like just something about like kind of decomposing corpses just yields to very pretty flowers. So all of them are dead, but they left behind like this beauty in their death. And then the two sexually questionable people in the story survive because one of them understands that you don't fuck around with a Ouija board if you don't know what the fuck you're doing. They survive it, and then they get together. They date. They marry. They don't have kids because neither of them is a female. So, but that's the story of like fucking Spencer's Woods. Oh my gosh, I guess his name is story Spencer's Woods.
No, you called it Revenge of the Zombies.
Revenge, yeah, but that's dumb. I like Spencer's Wood better. Like that sounds. Okay, here's the thing: Revenge of the Plombies makes it obvious it's a dumb story, but Spencer's Woods makes it sound almost respectable before you start reading or listening to it. So it's called Spencer's Woods.
Okay.
So that's the 2019 Halloween Overwatch special. Fucking Spencer's Spencer's Woods, aka Revenge of the Plombies, aka the Power Rangers Go to Hell. That's also a good name for it. What?
Nothing. I'm just funny.
So far we've had the first one is so far has been my favorite. Like the first one was like the most real one because it came out way more organic than this shit does. Like which is weird because this was about organic matter. Um, so we've had the dude who was fucking his dead wife somehow. We still don't know exactly how he's fucking his dead wife. We don't know if he was fucking the corpse and the corpse was like talking to him, or if the spirit was just outside the body asking him to stop fucking it long enough for her to die. Was in the last years with the doo-doo zombies, which just on the whole, doo-doo zombies is exactly what a creepypasta should be called. There needs to be there is now. There needs to be a creepypasta just called doo-doo zombies, where like people where people get zombified in the traditional sense of zombies, and you know in the traditional sense of voodoo. They get zombified by doo-doo. Like, that's fucking great. Like that's great. Like that's fantastic. Like they literally just get turned into zombies because they get doo doo smeared on their face, or like really they have to eat the doo doo. That's fucking great. And then they kind of get into the shit. Like they like the shit. Like so they look forward to like having like this shit festival each. And then this year is fucking plombies, plant zombies. Like plant zombies in the sense of it's like the traditional sense and the like the more like Hollywood sensationalized sense, as in like they're zombies who it's a zombie under control of somebody else, but it also falls apart. The zombie doesn't eat people though. So there's that. What's next year's gonna be? If I hope to live to see next year's Halloween, the 2020 Halloween special. Oh fuck me. This is what the fuck was any of this? It took like 2 hours to tell this story. It took 2 hours to get this out because fucking. It would just make more sense if I just did it. If I like recorded the audio, right? If I recorded the audio and then just like put it over, like that would make the most sense. That might be what we do next year. Next year, I might. Like I might. Don't quote me on that because if you're watching this and you're like, oh, next year it won't be tragically terrible. No, it'll be terrible. Like I just don't know what next year's will be. Just know that there was a version of this story that involved Bob's vagine having a colostomy bag that got filled with shit. Like it's like The Happening, and it was gonna be called The Crappening, where everybody just shits themselves. Like they go out in the wood, they go out in the woods, and there's like this pollen in the air, and they fucking like just shit themselves to death. But because fucking like Bob's vagine is like paraplegic and he doesn't have like use of his legs, he has a stoma, so he has a colostomy bag, and at some point in the story, his colostomy bag just gets full to the point where it like pops, and like he has to pull it off of his body. Like it fills up and it like pushes itself off his body, and then, like he just has liquid shit like shooting out the side of his stomach from where the colostomy thing is. That was a version of this story that did not get that's a different timeline. That's just a completely different timeline. It does not exist in this one. So with that being said, 2019's Halloween bullshit Crappypasta is done. It's over. I'm gonna save this video and I'm gonna lay on my bed because my ass hurts from sitting on this relatively hard seat. Until next year, people. Goodbye to you and Overwatch. Criminy.